they ran that power sweep that they held. They cheated. Nitschke was dirty, and they got away with murder. I really did kind of enjoy Travis Kelce looking at the official, palms up, wondering, "Hey, dude, what's?" I initiated contact, but he kind of bumped me and impeded my route. Why aren't you calling this? So yes, and then the ball on the ground was just obnoxious. I think some things need to be reviewed, but yes, the Chiefs have an aura about them where they get away with a lot of things. If I was pick a linebacker for the Lions, I would have punched
Jack Campbell.
I would have punched Mahomes as soon as he tiptoed in the end zone, flexed the ball across the goal line, and then did this. I'd have punched.
And I guess you can. I mean, Jameson Williams' touchdown dance was inappropriate, so I get there can be touchdown dances, but you can't point to a opponent as you score a touchdown and taunt them. Like if it's any other player in the league, they're getting a penalty, and it's just, hey, the Chiefs play better. They probably deserve the win. I want to say that the Lions didn't play good enough. That's not their best self. So I hope they get a rematch. Although, you know what, screw me over on a Sunday night and I get cranky. If that happened in the Super Bowl, I don't know what I would do with myself, Johnny. I wouldn't be able to have a show the next day. So let's pump the brakes and get there. Okay, so Bears. Yep. Monday Night Football against the Commanders. Everybody remember what's happened last year. But if you think about it, they're 2-2 now. And if they win tonight, they're a game back in the NFC North. That's it. It's Caleb versus Daniels. I get all that. Is it as simple as like those two against each other and whichever quarterback plays well wins?
It's absolutely not. Yeah. And that was the game that turned around the season and took them to the dumpster last year, and how anybody ever allows a Hail Mary to be completed when you teach and practice to get a hip on the guy and to make sure that you knock the ball down instead of try to catch it. Okay, that's high school stuff that we went nuts about. This is about Dan Quinn, and who's a defensive guy. This is about the Chicago Bears must have to run the football, Matty. If they do not, they are just an also ran throughout. They have to be better than 69 yards a game offensively running the football. DeAndre Swift is not the answer. I'll go to my grave. And yes, he's a utility back who can catch the football. That's a perfect compliment when you're a third down guy. You as a Lions fan should understand that you have two guys you can turn to every time to run the ball. That's been the Eagles' problem the last couple of weeks when they've lost. They haven't run the football as effectively as they had earlier in the season. Now, that's where it all comes down to. Yeah, is it about two really gifted quarterbacks, 1 and 2? Who cares? Come on. They have to, and I please excuse the expression, do their jobs. I won't say anybody at that level manages a football game. That's nothing. The worst. You know nothing about the game if you say these guys are quarterback managers. It's the worst analogy ever. They play the game to whatever the script says or whatever the situation calls for. They're not managing. They're trying to do their best. Again, is it about those two? You and I will make it about it, or anybody watching television will make it about it. The Bears need to run a football.
Yeah, that's all. They're not facing each other when it comes to on the field. Obviously, their teams are, but it's not like one's going against the other. So the comparisons will be there. You mentioned it, the two different teams. Running the football wise, defense wise, it's complete. I think if Caleb Williams goes into that game, or either one of them saying like, I need to win this game, I need to be that guy, I think that's when you get off script and bad things can happen. You mentioned whoever runs the football, whoever plays defense, those kind of things. Bottom line is who wins the game. I'll say this. It's an opportunity for Caleb Williams. I mentioned last week that Drake May has signature victories and Jaden Daniels does and Bo Nix now does and all those kind of things. Michael Penix probably has better wins. So it's a chance for Caleb. And people always say, Matt, you're too hard on him. Why don't you're never nice to Caleb. Let me be I want to be nice to Caleb tomorrow. If he can go out there and win a game like this on the road against a quote unquote playoff team, on Monday Night Football, I will be the first person to sit here tomorrow and say, like, hats off, Caleb Williams. You did this, you did that, you deserve all the flowers. So I'm not saying that in a negative way, but it's a great opportunity. And I know Ben Johnson knows that. I know that Caleb Williams has been told that. I hope he knows that. And I think he does. And yeah, I'll be the first person to tell you tomorrow. I do pick the Commanders. I think the Commanders win just because that defensive secondary is still pretty beat up. They get some guys back, and I think they're a little more healthy. But like you said, they got to figure out a way to stop the run somehow. And if you can't stop the run in the NFL, you're going to be in some trouble.
Move the football 70 yards with 3 minutes left to go to the football game to win your team the game, and then we'll have a really nice discussion about Caleb Williams.
Absolutely. Okay, before we let you go, running out of time, but I don't want to rush this. There's 2 Alleman guys on talking football, and people are going to say, hey, how dare you if you don't talk about it? So we're probably damned if we do and damned if we don't. But Alleman having to forfeit on Friday night, hoping that they can play the last 2 years. We'll see health-wise and all that kind of stuff. I said on Friday on the show it was a lose-lose situation. I completely understand Moline's frustrations and that staff and the conference in general, because this isn't just something that's happened this year. This is now a 4-year process of not being in the conference and forfeiting games and all those kind of things. I just thought it was a lose-lose, unfortunate situation. Your thoughts now after Friday turns to Monday and maybe some calmer heads have prevailed and just what's going on right now?
Okay. First reaction, extremely, 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 and I cannot, and I hate the word, I hate being redundant, disappointed. Again, I loved that September night or August night when football was back. Matt, I played there. Coached there for 100 years. Love the place. Love Jane. Love Jerry. These are all family to me. These are people that I adore. And Coach Barber, God bless him, came in and took over. People realize that if somebody is hurt, they're hurt. And the other part of it is you can't make that determination on the severity of someone's injury. If there's a head injury, there's no question about this, Matt. You just shut it down, and then you do your best. And if there wasn't enough varsity kids / freshmen, sophomores to do it, then you don't do it. And no one loves Mike Morrissey more than I do. And I understand his frustration, and I get that. But again, if you don't have enough healthy bodies, you cannot take the field in a varsity setting in the Western Big Six. So, and come on, Matt. We all know that people of Alman tried to go elsewhere when numbers got bad during the JV time. I promise you, folks, they did. No one's going to take 19 high school. They have 19 sports. No one's going to take that within their conference if they don't offer those sports. So please, folks, they have tried to go smaller. But give the school credit for enrollment, a huge bump from last year to this year of almost 30 students. So was I disappointed? Heck yeah, man. I really don't care what the final score is as long as kids play and get better. And if there was a dangerous situation and the people in charge at Alman, they're not trying to stick it to somebody. They want to go play, and it happens. But was I disappointed? Heck yeah, I'm still disappointed that they had to forfeit because I thought everything was in order and there was enough bodies at the bodies. By bodies I mean varsity athletes to be able to play the season out. Now, I don't know what will happen this week. I haven't had a chance to talk with Coach Barber, and I don't. That's his job. I would love for them to field a team against Geneseo and then close out the season against United Township. But yeah, to say that we take that lightly, come on, man. I'm sorry. I'm wearing my Callaway shirt today, but you've seen me. I have 1,000 Alman baseball shirts. That's half my wardrobe. The other half is Alman football, and the place is special. It'll always be special. I'm sorry that people don't like it, but it wasn't done to just hurt anybody or done maliciously. It was done for the best interests of the young people that are in your care. And I'm still mad about it, but there's nothing. I can't do anything about it.
Yeah. No, and I get what I said on Friday is I understand every Western Big Six's coach's frustration.
Oh my God, yeah.
And
Those
if anybody
people
wants
saw
to
our
argue with
people.
them, and why would you even argue with them? I get it. And it was like, it's not like Sherrard, and somebody said to me, and I may have even said it on the show, like Sherrard happened to this year, they forfeited a game and it didn't seem that much backlash. Well, this is the first time for Sherrard. This is something that's been going on at Alleman for a while. So I think there's definitely some wear and tear when it comes to those kind of things as well. So hopefully the best. Hopefully we're watching them play Geneseo. And then, of course, United Township. And United Township could be looking for that 5th win of the season and to get the postseason. And they could get it this week against Moline. We'll be live at the Soul Bowl for the game on Friday.
I'll be there Friday
be a really
night.
good game. So it should be a bunch of fun. Johnny, I appreciate this as always. Hopefully we didn't make too many people mad. And if we did,
Sorry.
that's a beautiful thing. So, all right, my friend, we'll talk to you soon. See you, pal.
All right, buddy.
That is John Marx joining us here on Off the Air with Matt Randazzo, a little Marxy Monday, talking NFL, college, and of course as well the Alleman Pioneers. And I got the helmet on the desk, so I get it. So I figured I'm here and Johnny's here. If we don't bring it up and talk about it, we'll put you in trouble. But and I echo what Johnny said, but I also understand. I get it. I get the frustration of Moline people from this past weekend, and I get if it happens again in the future. It's been 4 years of struggles, so I don't know what the answer is yet, and if I can figure it out, I'd tell somebody. But a lot of decisions and all that kind of stuff have to continue to be made. But hopefully there's football for the Pioneers coming up on Friday. We got more to get to. You're watching Off the Air on a Monday right here in the Quad Cities. Are you looking to take your next party, tailgate, or golf outing to the next level? You need Mobile Party Xperience. MPX features 3 top-of-the-line party trailers equipped with all the amenities you need to party like a rock star. Smart TVs, Yeti coolers, JBL sound systems, grills, bathrooms, and much more. Mobile Party Xperience is an experience like no other. Check out my-mpx.com or call 563-514-1470 and book your Mobile Party Xperience today.
Give me the keys. Learning to drive can be stressful for both the student and, yes, the parent as well. Relax. There's an easy way to avoid the stress. Skiles Driving School in East Moline has been helping new drivers hit the road with confidence for over 20 years. Whether you're a teen earning your first license or an adult looking for behind-the-wheel training, we've got you covered. Their certified instructors are patient, experienced, and use modern vehicles equipped for safety and comfort. From classroom instruction to real-world driving, we make learning safe, affordable, and even fun. Call 309-278-0098 or visit skylesdriving.com. Skiles Driving School. Get in, buckle up, drive your future forward.
Welcome back to Off the Air with Matt Randazzo here on a Monday in the Quad Cities. It was another great Friday night of high school football. So many storylines as we finished up week 7 of the high school football season. Over in the TRAC, there were 2 division champions crowned. Rock Ridge winning, so they are division champions. And then also Monmouth-Roseville stayed undefeated. They are conference champs 7-0 on what was a historic night for one of their standouts down in Monmouth. And we're joined now by standout running back, but I guess running back, wide receiver, threw it a little bit on Friday. Nick Huston joins me right now on Off the Air with Matt Randazzo. Nick, thank you for doing this. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you very much, Matt, for having me. It's a pleasure.
It was a big Friday night, and I know we'll talk about the winning and all that kind of stuff, and maybe that little Rock Ridge game coming up in just a second. But I want to start with your night. 282 yards on the ground, 3 touchdowns rushing. You threw a touchdown, you caught a touchdown. The 282 is a school record. When did you find out that you rewrote the history books at Monmouth Roseville?
Well, it wasn't until after the game, and me and our other great running back, Landon Montroy, we were talking outside the locker room, and Adolphson walked up to me. He's like, well, I just looked over the record books, and he said to me that you broke it by like 5 yards. So I thought that was pretty neat. And I didn't know I'd ran for that many yards. So that was pretty funny for sure.
Obviously really cool. What does it mean? What does it mean to right now be the all-time leading rusher single game at a school, especially recently, Nick, that has had a lot of talent and has ran the football effectively? What does it mean to be at the top of that list?
Oh, it's like incredible. I mean, even like when Martell Hunt held it, I didn't think anybody was going to break it. And then we had Tyler Finicum and Peyton Thompson, and then Andrew Way and Montroy. And I was like, it's kind of a race who's going to get it. And then I guess I was the lucky one who got to break it. So great night all around for us for sure.
No, absolutely. I don't want to talk about that because you talked about your partner in crime in the backfield, but those guys up front do so much. You guys rushed for almost 500 yards on the ground. Talk about those big guys up front. And I know you get the credit and the highlights and to be on my goofy show, but those big guys up front, they deserve a lot of credit too, don't they?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, like at left tackle, Brody Dodd, of course, he's all conference. And then Landon Angelo, all conference as well. But, he got hurt like early in the game. So Michael Gooding, he's usually our right guard. He stepped over to left guard and took over that role. And then our center, Javen John. And then Cody Johnson, who plays right tackle. And then Brian Miller, the third, who stepped in at right guard for us. And then our tight end, of course, I always leave him out, but Caden Russell, he does a great job over there. When we go to our heavy sets, I mean, they just open the holes, and it just makes our job so much easier as backs, even though they don't get all the fame and glory. But no, we got to give them their pat on the back for sure.
Absolutely. You got to get that tight end some love as well. Absolutely. Nick Houston right now on Off the Air with Matt Randazzo. What is it like, not just last Friday night, but every Friday night, getting the running room that you get and the holes that you get? What is it like to run behind that offensive line in this offense? It's got to be pretty special.
Oh, I mean, it's great. I mean, even with them, being able to run behind them, it's an honor because they do such a good job, and they don't get the credit for it. But week in and week out, they go out there and in practice, they work their tails off. In games, they work their tails off. And then also helps having the two other backs with Lars and Landon. And we all open up opportunities for one another because Lars brings a little more speed, and then Montroy, of course, he's going to put his head down and run through you. And then I feel like I'm kind of the middleman. I don't think I got too much speed, and I think I can maybe run somebody over. But no, it's just the O-line, they do such a fantastic job, like all the way from left to right. And it's so great to be able to have them. And then our chemistry, of course, is just, I would say, unmatched as a team. So no, it's definitely a great, great opportunity.
Nick, can you talk about the mindset at Monmouth Roseville? Because with lack of a better term, you guys like to beat people up. You like to be more physical, especially up front. Is that a mindset when you guys get to a game on Friday night and get in the backfield and get on the field? There's a grit to it. There's a mindset to what you guys do offensively, isn't it?
Oh, for sure. I mean, like Coach tells us, like in the locker room, like this might be the last time this team's going to like get to see you, and you want to walk off the field, and they want to feel that you're the better team and more physical. And like it starts like what we do here at the school in the weight room. So we worked our tails off this summer and then past summers to get where we want to be. And then, but no, the first drive, there's kind of some jitters, but then we know that if we get to like our game, we're eventually going to wear somebody down and like just run it straight at them. So yeah, no, that's our mindset that we can run the ball on like almost anybody. So
Nick, you guys, team-wise, 7-0. You guys capture the division championship, the Mississippi Division Championship for the second straight season. What does that mean? I know you guys have lofty goals, high goals, conference championships overall, postseason, all that kind of stuff. But I know it's special to win that division championship as well. What was Friday night like? To win it for the second straight year had to be pretty special.
Oh, so special for the group. I mean, that was one of our goals of what we see as we got many more to conquer for sure, but that was our first one to be able to go back-to-back outright. We didn't want to take home just a share. We wanted outright for sure. So we worked for that and got it, and then we know that we got so much more to work for, and after last year leaving a sour taste in our mouth how we exited. So we feel like we got more to prove as a team. We lost a lot, so we had to come out and prove that we do deserve to be the back-to-back conference champions for sure.
Monmouth Roseville's Nick Huston joining me right now, and off there with Matt Randazzo. Have you guys felt like you've had a chip on your shoulder this year? You kind of mentioned, the way you went out last year, but I don't know if everyone expected – I think everyone expected you to be good. I don't know how good you were going to be. Heck, some knuckleheads even pick against you every now and then, but we don't want to focus on that. We don't want to focus on that. Do you feel like there's a chip on your shoulder when it comes to – not just yours, but the teams when it comes to maybe getting some more respect around the area and around the state of what Monmouth Roseville has become?
No, yeah, I think – we went into the season with definitely a big chip on our shoulder for sure because, I think people looked at us and say we lost a lot of people and you don't know if we're going to be able to, fill those shoes the way they were, of course, with us going 8-1 in the regular season. But, no, I think we always had, confidence in ourselves, and we got guys that came back that were huge for us last year. So, yeah, there is always that chip, but I think we're trying to use that chip as motivation to just keep winning games.
More games to be played, and I know the playoffs are exciting and you're in those and all that kind of stuff, but it's seeding and it's, getting those home games and all those kind of things. Next week, I can't think of a better matchup on this slate than a Monmouth Roseville at Rock Ridge showdown. What do you know about Rock Ridge? What have you learned about Rock Ridge? What do you expect when it comes to a really good Week 8 matchup on the high school gridiron?
Yeah, no, it's going to be a physical game up there for sure. We know their quarterback. He's great, and we're going to do the best to do what we can to scheme for him. And then we know they got a couple good receivers and then a solid running back. So I think what we're going to do, we're going to just try and just play our brand of football and I guess just take it at them because they got to be able to stop us as well. So, it's going to be, I think, a smash mouth game. And if I think our secondary can hold up, I think it's going to be a great one for sure.
You look at it and it's going to be packed. It's going to be a fantastic atmosphere. You guys are going to bring a bunch of fans. They're going to bring a bunch of fans. Is this what high school football is all about? Is playing in games like this and being in atmospheres and environment? You're kind of smiling. You're pretty excited for Friday night, aren't you?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, it's what it's all about. 7-0 versus 7-0 and 2 conference champs on either side. So, yeah, it should be a packed house up there for sure. And we travel well, so it's going to be loud. It's going to be a physical game for sure. So, if we just stay within ourselves, I think it's going to be a great game, and hopefully we come out on top.
Nick, you guys are led by Jeremy Adolphson, who's been there for a long time. One of my favorite people, really good football coach, really good human being. What does he mean to you guys, your team, not just on the field, but off the field as well?
Yeah, no, he's great. In practice, if we're having a down day, he's going to let us know. So he gets us right for sure mentally. And then he pushes us to do our work in the weight room and stuff like that. So, and then outside, he's great as well with everything he does for us because, he's our athletic director as well. So he does just about everything he can for us kids. So it's such an honor to be playing for him. So, no, very thankful for what he does. He's a great guy, awesome coach, and just an awesome individual.
He even drives the bus, Nick. I mean, he literally
Oh,
does
yeah.
it all. It's really impressive to see. Hey, Nick, before we let you go, tell me about, I always love to find out about players and game days and game nights and all that kind of stuff. So big victory. Monmouth Roseville wins last week. They're conference champ, or division champs, excuse me. How do you guys celebrate? Is there a place to go after the game? Is there a Friday night tradition? How do you guys celebrate a victory down in Monmouth Roseville every week?
So usually, well, it depends. Home game. So at Sunny Lane, there's a shed that actually a couple of our parents, it's their shed, so it's like a big shed, and then we go. A lot of us go over there, and they always have food and stuff, so we go over there and hang out. And then, but away games, it's just kind of sometimes we'll get together as a team and have a little fun, but no, usually just go over to the shed, have some food, and hang out, and it's always a good time. So, no, we find a way to have fun. I think, we were planning maybe this week after a big win, we might go to a haunted house or something. So that might be the fun spot this weekend.
There you go. Nothing says small school Illinois football more than celebrating at a shed. You know that, right? Like that is as stereotypical as they come. Nick, are you superstitious? Is there anything game day that you have to do that's goofy, that's weird? Don't worry, nobody's listening. Just you and me. What's the superstitions?
I'm not really a big superstitious person, but I guess what I never do, I never eat before a game.
Really?
That's like I never eat because I feel like I get so nervous. I feel like I'm going to throw it up. So I guess I just never eat before games.
I love it. What's this team like? You talked about maybe going haunted housing. I know it's a great group and you guys are tight. Goofy in a good way, probably. What's this team like off the field?
Oh, just incredible. I mean, everybody gets along and we have fun, but when it's time to get serious, we get serious about football and other stuff. So no, it's an incredible group, and I've known a lot of these boys since like I was 4 or 5 years old. So we've been together for a long time. So the chemistry is just about unmatched, I think, as any group probably in the world.
All right, Nick, before I let you go, I mentioned it a little bit earlier, but I do owe you guys an apology. I picked against you against Princeton, but I do want you guys to know that Greg picked against you guys week 1 against Mercer County. I feel like mine is less bad, if that makes any sense. But overall, do you guys, and I know it's fun and we do it in a fun way and we're picking 4 teams, not against teams, but shows like View from the West and maybe this one here off the air. Do you guys like to listen to and see the breakdowns of your games and what you guys are doing? And does it motivate you a little bit if some knucklehead picks the wrong team every once in a while?
Oh yeah, for sure. No, it's great that you guys do these type of things for, kids around the area. Like, it's awesome. I'll get off the bus, or when I'm driving home from the game after the shed, I'll turn on the instant reacts and listen. Like last week I listened to Coach. So no, it's great that you guys do this. And I just want to say thank you to you guys for sure. But no, when we hear it, it's not too personal, but no, we take a joke to it. So no, it's great. It's great.
Nick, I learned my lesson. You guys could play my Lions tomorrow, and I'm picking you guys. Okay, so I will never pick against you guys again. So hey, congratulations! 282 yards rushing. You threw a touchdown. You caught a touchdown. You had 3 on the ground. Most importantly, you guys are division champions for the 2nd straight season. Best of luck against the Rockets. Stay healthy, all that good stuff, and hopefully we can talk again real soon. I appreciate you.
Yep. Thank you very much, Matt.
All right, that is Nick Huston, standout down at Monmouth Roseville. It took us a little bit to get that interview done. So the perseverance from the folks down at Monmouth, I appreciate, and we wish them the best luck. One of the biggest games of the week will be Rock Ridge and Monmouth Roseville. We'll talk more about that later this week with Ty Taylor from WRMJ, and then, of course, we'll talk with Greg and Mitch as well on Friday as we get ready for that huge showdown. And also, coming up on Friday on Off the Air, we'll take the show on the road. We will be at the Soul Bowl. It is United Township and Moline, another fantastic matchup. The game's getting bigger and bigger as the high school football season rolls along. We got more to get to. You're watching OTA on a Monday right here in the Quad Cities.
Hello, Dan Pearson here of FCA. Our team is thrilled to support Off the Air with our good friend Matt Randazzo. We share the view of the power of sport when it comes to relationships, including the influence of the coach. FCA believes the coach is the most influential person in America. Matt celebrates local coaches and athletes. His content is informational, insightful, and inspirational. Our Fellowship of Christian Athlete team loves partnering with Off the Air with Matt Randazzo while we engage, equip, and empower coaches and athletes in our 23 counties. FCA, the heart and soul in sports.
View from the West, the podcast covering Illinois high school football.
It's going to be a hard-hitting game. It's going to be great football.
Weekly analysis and reaction from around the western side of the state of Illinois.
This is the game we had circled when the year started.
Follow along on YouTube and subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts.
It's big-time football out there tonight, and I know we can play big-time football.
View from the West. We got you covered.
Are you looking for the Quad City's best chips and salsa? There's only one dude to turn to.
Right on.
Snoop. Hand-cut chips, fried fresh with that crunch you've come to love. And the most addicting salsa with delicious fresh ingredients each and every time. Pick up your chips and salsa, queso, enchiladas, and much more at the Stern Center in Rock Island. To place your order, simply call the man himself. It's Snoop at 309-314-8197 and find out for yourself what the rest of the Quad Cities already loves. Welcome back to Off the Air with Matt Randazzo here on a Monday in the Quad Cities. It was a great weekend of sports. Great weekend for high school football. Week 7 now in the books. Week 8 right around the corner. And it's a beautiful thing because the postseason is right around the corner. There's 2 weeks in the regular season for most schools. But for small schools in Iowa, this will be the last week of the regular season. They start the postseason a little bit earlier, and it's been another really, really good season out in Wilton, and the Beavers are playing really good football. And joining us now is the head coach of Wilton, Ryan Hetsler. First and foremost, thank you for doing this. I know you're busy with the job, but then also a dad as well. So thank you for balancing and juggling me into the mix as well.
Yeah, no problem. I appreciate being back on, and yes, it's a bit chaotic in the morning. The girls are in the background here playing around on the board, and so if you hear them, that's what's going on.
No, they can have a bunch of fun. I appreciate that. Most people probably would rather listen to them, Coach, than listen to us talk. But we'll talk some football because obviously it was a special season last year in Wilton, and we didn't know what to expect. And I don't know if it's safe to say you might not have known what to expect going into this year. But a 5-2 run so far. The 2 losses, really close, good losses, if there's such a thing. What have you seen about this team this year, and how are you as we get to week 8 of the regular season?
Well, I'll tell you, like you said, we lost a lot of guys from last year, and we made a dome run, and not many people probably would have given our team a whole lot of, or maybe thought we're at where we're at right now at 5-2. We're sitting in second place in our district. We had an opportunity to get ourselves to first place in the district, and we just had a few miscues on that. But we knew we had a good group coming back. It was just a matter of putting it all together, and those guys have done a really nice job this year of doing that. And we're just excited to see them. A lot of those guys have been guys in our program for the last 3 or 4 years who maybe didn't get that opportunity because we had that senior class last year. And now they stepped up into that role, and it's awesome to see them have success with that as well.
Coach, you look at it, and you guys didn't know maybe what to expect, and your first game was against state powerhouse Regina, and it was a close game. The final score probably not indicative of how close that game was and how good that team is, and everybody kind of knows now and knew then. What did you learn about your team way back in week 1 of the season with that opener?
Well, I'll tell you, I think it said a lot about where we were on a talent scale. You could tell that the newness or the freshness of those varsity kids. We had Regina down in the third quarter, and I believe I've kind of followed their season a little bit too. I think this is the only time they've ever been down in the second half. And in the fourth quarter, we had a couple of guys go down and made some mistakes that a new varsity team would make, and an experienced varsity team like Regina made us pay for that, right? So we were actually up, I think 20-14 is what it was towards the end of that third quarter before they scored right in the final sections of that third quarter. And then we had some things just snowball out of place, but we knew at that moment we had a really big opportunity in front of us as a team to go compete at high levels. And our guys picked themselves up and continued to just move forward. We had a tough non-district schedule, and then we moved. Our first district game was against Mid-Prairie, who's, I believe, last week actually wrapped up the district championship. And they're a very, very good team. A lot of guys from the teams in the past they've had on their team again this year. So, like you said, and I know we were talking earlier, no loss is ever a good loss, but the losses we've had have been to really, really tough opponents, and coming from programs that have been there and done it over and over again.
Coach, you look at it and you get one more game during the regular season. Obviously a big win last week, a shutout victory. What's the goals to this week, and what are the things that you guys want to get done? Obviously winning is important. Last game, all those kind of things. What do you tell your guys, knowing that you're probably a 2 seed, home game, and probably set with what you guys have coming in next year, or next week, I should say? There she is.
Yeah, there's my youngest. So yeah, we're having issues over there.
Hi, sweetheart.
You say hi.
No, I don't. But stranger danger, Coach. That's well done. That's good parenting. But what's the goal for this week?
I'll tell you what. Over here. Yes, you guys can go. Sorry.
No, you're good.
So honestly, our goal is, it may be cliche, I guess, but we're week to week. We've played that game in the past where our team wants to try to set goals on reaching certain points, and I think we've been there and done that. I don't think that's good for our team, because sometimes we've said, well, we want to get to the dome before, and then we don't have a team that makes it to the dome, and then they get upset or they feel like they've disappointed our staff or our program because they didn't make it that far. Mm-hmm. So it's really important, and that's something we've just focused on. We haven't ever looked ahead. We haven't talked about the playoffs or who we're going to get or who we think we're going to get. Honestly, we've just really focused on us week to week, and just continue to look at who we've got in front of us. As I feel our district, is a pretty solid district all the way around, and we know we have to be at our best week in and week out. So that's just been the main focus, and just not looking too far ahead. And what happens will happen. And do we have a team that can maybe make a push in the playoffs? I certainly think so. But a lot of things have to fall into place, and we've seen that. Last year made a good run. It took an onside kick and a final score in the last minute of the game to make the dome. And so you have to be prepared, and you got to find some luck, a little bit of luck along the way as well. So we'll just keep pushing and see what comes out of the season.
Coach, is it a trip to West Liberty on Friday?
Yeah, we head over there.
And a good football team. Kind of talk about that, because it is a good football team, and despite going up and down and all that kind of stuff, you want to be playing well going into the postseason. A good challenge against a good West Liberty team on Friday night.
Yeah, absolutely. Their record does not show who they really are. They're 3-4 team, but their non-district schedule is extremely tough. They have some offensive weapons and put up. They're currently second in our district in offensive yardage put up. They can throw the ball. They can run the ball. They've got some really nice athletes on the edge. So it's a game, like you said, as we look into the playoffs, we can't just look past West Liberty. And they're actually in a spot as well. So if worse comes to worse and we would lose this game, they actually would be put into a 3-way tie with us and Mediapolis and themselves, and then you'd be going to a point differential to see who gets that 2, 3, and 4 seeds. So it's really not a spot we want to be in. We want to hold down that 2 seed on our own. And I also think that helps when the seedings come out in the playoffs of who you get in that first round and then second and third round as well. So it's really a big game for us on Friday night to finish out our season the way that we're supposed to. And I think our kids know that moving forward.
Ryan Hetsler out at Wilton joining us right now and Off the Air with Matt Randazzo. Coach, that community is a special community, and it didn't take till last year to realize that, but last year was so special. And I know the support's always been there. What's it like right now? Because it's always been at a really good level. And coming off of that dome team, I know it's just probably great environments and special atmospheres, not just on Friday nights, but I'm sure there's energy and excitement during the week. Probably a Monday morning is just as exciting as maybe a Friday.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, Matt, and like I said, I think we talked earlier this year, and we talked about this too. The atmosphere here in Wilton, in a small town, it's tough to explain until you see it in person. But when you turn around and you look at we have that hill and the bleachers and everything else, and it's packed from all the way from our concession stand all the way down to we have an indoor sports facility, and there's not an empty seat in that place. And on Friday morning and Thursday nights, there's chairs that are out there beforehand. So being able to come out to a community that supports you like that is just really, really crazy. And like you said, it's not just football, it's the volleyball, it's everything that we do here. And I think our community does an awesome job of supporting us in everything that we do. And it's crazy. I once had a principal tell me, he goes, if you start off with your fall seasons and you have successful seasons, you typically have a really, really good school year all the way through. And our football team is having a really good season. Our volleyball is having another good season. And there's just an energy that comes with that all the way around. And I'll tell you what, as the AD here, I can also see that too. And you can see that in our students. They're excited to be here. They're excited to see what's next. And it's just a lot of fun in Wilton, Iowa right now.
Coach, you guys had that experience from last year. How much do you find yourself or the kids, I know some different kids and some faces left, I understand that, but do they draw that experience throughout the year? Have you guys, I know you want to focus on this year, but those experiences and situations have had to help maybe calm nerves, different things throughout the season, and then maybe a step further moving forward as you get ready for the postseason once again?
Well, I think it does for sure. And whether our kids say that or not, you can see when we get ready for big games, there's not a nervousness. You're always going to be a little bit nervous, but they're not concerned because they know the preparation they've done in that time has got them to that spot. And I think last year going through that run, and it was every playoff game, right? I know last year we were 1 seed, but we had a battle in our 1-4 game right away. And then we played a team that had been to the Dome and to the quarterfinals the last 6 years last year in an MFL Marmac. And then we played the team that has really held us down for years, which was Regina, and to overcome that. And then I'll tell you, when you get to the Dome and you play there, there's a different set of nerves that set in because it's a completely different atmosphere. And our seniors this year, for sure, I think, there's not a bigger stage than that. So I think going into games week in and week out, you can tell there's a confidence that they carry this year that sometimes I don't know if we've always had that before. And even the juniors that we have now that were part of that run, a lot of those guys were on special teams, so they got to play in those big games in big time moments. And I think they just hit the ground running this year because they knew, what to expect. And you get to see high level football at the end of that year. So you're playing the best of the best in our class. And I think that really helped prepare our kids for this year because they know what it takes to get back there. And every one of our kids wants to get back there. And they're going to do everything they can in their power to do so. So it's just been a fun year, and our kids have responded really, really well.
Coach, before I let you go, tell me about these guys off the field because more than anything, obviously you need the talent on the field, but it needs to work in the locker room. And there's so many personalities. And talk about this team in general. Are they superstitious? Are they fun? Are they? Do they keep you on your toes? I want to say, do they turn your hair gray? But we won't get into that whole thing. But what's this team like off the field? And obviously a special group once again.
I'll tell you, the kids are really special here in Wilton and all the way around, and it's year in and year out like that. Our kids come from a bunch of different backgrounds, even though they're small town. We have farm kids. We have kids that love wrestling. We have kids that love basketball. We do have kids that put football first, but it's so fun to get all those kids together and compete for one common goal, and that's to be successful on Friday nights. And, I think that's what small town football is supposed to be made up of. And, they're just a bunch of great kids, love to have fun. Definitely keep me on my toes. And yes, I do credit here today because there's a lot of stress that goes in with that as well. But just really happy and proud to coach the group of kids that I get to year in and year out. And this group's a special group, just like the ones we've had in the past. So it's been a lot of fun, and hopefully we can make a deep playoff run together.
Coach, I always appreciate your time. Love the conversations. Good luck this week against West Liberty. Stay healthy. Good luck the postseason as well. Hopefully we can catch up again real soon. Thanks, my friend. That is head coach out at Wilton, Ryan Hetsler, joining us right here on Off the Air with Matt Randazzo. Wilton, once again, coming off that special season last year. Another special group once again, 5-2, 2 close losses. They'll be a force and someone to reckon with in the playoffs as well. We got more to get to. You're watching Off the Air with Matt Randazzo right here on a Monday in the Quad Cities. Welcome back to Off the Air with Matt Randazzo. October 13th. Time is flying right by. We're going to be talking about Halloween already, but Thanksgiving, Christmas all right around the corner as well. Thanks for spending your Monday with us. Everything's good. and I like to share with you guys my technical issues and all those kind of things. I woke up this morning not knowing if this stuff worked. It was a tough night last night, so everything has gone as scripted. If you're watching on YouTube, there are 2 segments. It's the part 1, and then midway between, probably around midway point with John Marx, we had to get up and going. So part 2 again. So, but other than that, we did it. We rocked and rolled. For our viewers in Central Iowa, hopefully you enjoyed the show. And also, don't forget, and for everybody, not just those viewers, but for everybody involved, we're going on the road. We're taking the show on the road once again. Tomorrow, we will be at Carver Hawkeye Arena for the Iowa women. Their media day is 9 a.m., so bright and early. We'll probably go on around 9:15, but we'll have some players, coaches, all that kind of stuff, getting you ready for what should be another fantastic season of Iowa women's basketball. So that coming up tomorrow. On Wednesday, we will have the men's basketball media day live from Carver Hawkeye once again. Ben McCullum goes at noon for his press conference, so maybe 12:15-ish, something like that. Again, if you're subscribed, you'll know the time because you'll get an alert, a notification, and you'll be able to join us as well. So 2 big shows coming out from Iowa Basketball Media Days. The women on Tuesday, the men on Wednesday. Super excited to be there. Of course, we did the same thing for the Iowa Football Media Day, and it was a blast. So excited for tomorrow. Thursday, we'll have a fun show, and then Friday, we'll be at the Soul Bowl for Moline UT. Really excited about that. The athletic directors, Todd Thompson and Scott Harding from Moline and United Township will joining us. A little wager, a bunch of fun with that. So Nick Welch will be joining us as well. United Township 1 victory away from the postseason, 2 games left to go. Moline playing some of the best football in the entire state. So they will get back on the field next week and they'll be ready to go against United Township. So we'll have all that for you this week. It should be a fun, big week right here on Off the Air with Matt Randazzo. Again, thank you to our guests, Pat Anger joining us live, talking about Iowa's big victory over Wisconsin 37-0. We also talked everything. We talked Lions, Bears, Iowa, Illinois, Alleman football with John Marx. So check that segment out as well. Also, thank you to Nick Huston for joining us. Record-setting running back down in Monmouth, Roseville. 282 yards rushing. That was a school record. 3 touchdowns rushing. He also threw a touchdown and caught a touchdown as well. So 5 total TDs. And Monmouth Rose was really good. 7-0, winning their division. And now they get a trip to Rock Ridge to take on the Rockets, who are 7-0, undefeated, winning their division. So, yeah, we'll probably talk about that with Ty Taylor coming up later this week. Probably Thursday with Ty. And then, of course, with the View from the West guys on Friday as well. So a lot to get to with that. And also Wilton playing really good football, 5-2 in the season. They lost to a really good Regina team to start the season in a game that they led in the third quarter. And then they lost by a point to the 6th-ranked team in the state as well. Other than that, 5-2, playing great once again after going to the Dome for the first time in state history last year. Ryan Hetsler joined us as well. So it's been a fun show once again. I will add this. While the show was going, I was doing some research, if you will. Kansas City didn't have a penalty last night. How do you play a football game and not get called for one penalty, especially when there were penalties? So I'll just leave it at that. I'm fine. We're flushing that away as a Lions fan and moving on to a Monday night showdown with Tampa Bay. So anyways, thank you guys for joining us. Thank you to our sponsors for allowing us to do this show each and every day. And we'll be back live at Carver Hawkeye Arena bright and early, a little earlier start, probably 9 or 9:15 for Off the Air with Matt Randazzo. Thanks so much for joining us. We'll see you guys tomorrow.